Hi everyone, this is Charmander, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the best hero pairs for Ryder Garrison specifically. So if you don't know what Garrison is, just as an example, you can go to any tower, reinforce it, tap to join, and now you can Garrison it, meaning you can defend your tower or any other structure. Now for Ryder specifically, there is only actually two real options for the purpose of Garrison. They're both amazing options, so do go use them. I do not recommend doing Garrison that doesn't have Chasey in it. You must have Chasey. Don't even bother to Garrison with Ryder if you don't have Chasey in it. Just Garrison with something else that is not Ryder, either infantry or range, because you need Chasey for Garrison. Chasey is the queen of Garrison in this game, and she is so powerful, both from a defensive standpoint and also damage dealing standpoint. Now, hands down, Chasey's best partner in this game for the purpose of Ryder Garrison is going to be Felix. I thought about it for the longest time whether Felix was her best Garrison partner or if it was going to be Elena, and after crunching some numbers, turns out Felix is the winner. That's why this combination is going to be an S tier Garrison pairing. I already covered during my video on Ryder Field Heroes why this is such a deadly combination, but we can do a quick review of how that works. So first thing we're going to look at is with Felix. As you can see, his rage skill does a damage factor of 3,100 for the next 5 seconds, and this is going to be basic attacks. Now, you stack that with Chasey, who, let's say, has transcended her skill, and we're always looking at this from a transcended perspective. Her first skill increases the basic attacks by 330% for 5 seconds. This means that Felix's basic damage is actually going to be doing at least 51,000 plus basic damage in the next 5 seconds, and this is excluding the basic damage that Chasey is doing. But we are not finished yet, as mentioned again in my previous video, because her skill Lashing Whip increases the basic attack damage by 55%. So if you include Lashing Whip to that damage, Chasey and Felix is actually doing over 79,000 basic damage over 5 seconds, which is ridiculous. This is a basic damage bomb you are doing to your opponents. That's why this Garrison is so strong and so hard to break, because they are also killing you really hard with their basic damage. Not to mention, if you silence Chasey, she gets another basic attack granted to her, which is no joke, as you can see how much basic attack damage the Chasey and Felix combination already does. Another thing to keep in mind is if you look at Chasey, she reduces a skill damage taken by 10% against squads with a remaining squad size greater than 50%. We can pair that up with Felix, who also reduces the skill damage taken from the enemy by 10% after he does a basic attack, and this lasts for 2 seconds. So this is a grand total 20% reduction in skill damage taken from the enemy, which is a huge amount. That's why they are so tanky as a result of this combination. Not to mention, Chasey's super weapon, Phantom Feline, already has a 15% damage reduction, making it one of the most powerful super weapon available in this game, if not the most powerful. And if you combine both of their Rider Squad attack, 36% for Chasey and 32% for Felix, this is about 52% combined for both of them, making their attack even stronger together. Last but not least, with Chasey, she also reduces the skill damage taken from the ranged squads by an additional 17.5%. So if it's a ranged squad doing the rally on you specifically, they are going to be doing a lot less damage to you, making ranged squad against Ryder Garrison with Chasey very ineffective as a result, unless of course that Chasey player has not transcended their hero and also they do not have the proper armaments. So as a result, Chasey and Felix is the ultimate S tier Garrison pair available in this game. The next pair that is going to be on the A tier is going to be Chasey and Elena. Some of the highlights from this combination is actually going to be from the reduction in skill damage taken. So for example, with Elena, she has up to 40% chance of reducing the skill damage taken. And as you know, with Chasey, she also reduces the skill damage taken by 10% against squads with the remaining squad size of greater than 50%. So if you combine this together, this is basically a 50% reduction in skill damage taken, meaning skill damage gets cut in half when you have these two paired together, which is really amazing at preventing the enemy from hurting you. Also, if you combine their increase in basic attack, which is 55% for Chasey and 30% for Elena, which is a whopping 85% increase in basic attack damage in total. Now, when Elena has her rage above 50%, the basic attack damage further increases by up to 53%. So the grand total for the increase of basic attacks from both of these heroes is now going to be a whopping 138%, which is a huge amount. If you include Chasey's Unethical Thief, which is her rage skill that increases the basic attack damage by 330% for the next 5 seconds, you actually have a sickening 468% increase in basic damage. So as you can see, this combination is super deadly. It's actually closer to A+. That's why I don't think you can go wrong if you do Chasey and Felix or Chasey and Elena, as they are both amazing combinations. Next, Chasey has 36% increase increase in Ryder's squad attack, and if you add that with Elena's 20%, you have a respectable 56% increase in Ryder's squad attack, which further increases the damage that they deal. Last but not least, don't forget Elena's powerful skill damage, which is basically a total of 16,200 damage over a period of 3 seconds, making the damage dealt to the troops that's rallying you even more. That's why this pairing is so powerful, and that is why it's so close with Felix. I do think Felix is slightly stronger, but as mentioned before, both options are excellent. If you don't have either one of them awakened, you only have one or the other, they are still amazing, and you basically would still be effective for the purpose of doing Garrison. So anyways, that's about it for this video on the best Garrison pairs for Ryder specifically. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.